Leslie Meredith with Breakbulk Events and Media. We have just had a fantastic panel discussion on U.S. offshore wind and the potential for a number of projects. And I have one of our speakers, Tim Axelsson from Liberty Green Offshore. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you. Hi.
It's good to see you.
Thanks.
Tell me what your the maybe one or two takeaways that you'd like the audience to bring home with them about offshore wind. What are the most important points?
Sure, it is a green technology, so it is a new energy technology. It's about electricity, it's about electrical generation, and it's a way of making power from the sun and the wind. So there's solar and there's wind. The wind technology, of course, makes power out of the wind. So the fuel source is free, right? It's always blowing, but the mechanisms, these machines are not cheap. You have to build it out. And so, that is that is a form of making electrical generation without all of the burning, without all of the transportation of the fuel source, because the fuel source is readily available, and it really is without all the heat. So these things don't need any cooling, like cooling water or anything like that. So these turbines are really a really unique way to make power from what nature gives us, which is sun and wind.
Absolutely. So certainly Europe has had, many offshore wind projects. What has taken the United States so long?
Well, I think, I said that on the panel that a lot of people don't understand. America has 122 gigawatts of land-based wind. We're already the second largest producer in the world of wind power. We consume a lot of energy as Americans, but that consumption can be supplemented with green resources and renewable resources. So the reason they haven't gone in the water, I think, is because it's more expensive. So when you put things out in the ocean, it's a much more expensive means of construction, and it's just more money, and it couldn't compete that well with land-based resources to make electricity. On land now, the turbines are more inexpensive, more cost-effective and efficient, and the logistics and supply chain exists on land to build these things out. Whereas in the ocean, that supply chain takes ships and things that float, and it's very expensive and difficult to build it out. But now these turbines have gotten, the technological advancement in these offshore turbines has gotten to the point where now in America they can compete head-to-head with gas and coal-fired power. So, but it's because of the technology development that the Europeans have done on these turbines and how big they've gotten.
All right, so tell me about what role does Liberty Green play in these projects?
So Liberty Green, it's a new vertical in Liberty Maritime, or Liberty Group of companies. Liberty Green Logistics is going to move into the offshore wind space with this new vertical, leveraging what we do already. And what we do well is we're ship owner operators of Jones Act vessels. We're a Jones Act operating company, and we have a global logistics division that is I think, number one in moving parts and pieces and cargo, end-to-end multimodal logistics. So leveraging those capabilities, plus now we're terminal operators, and so we have a terminal operations side. So we check a lot of boxes in that offshore wind space where we have terminal operations, waterfront facilities, we have the global logistics of how to move things, big things from point to point, and then the ships themselves. And so we feel that in that space we can invest in this industry pretty confidently. And one of the things we're doing is building a consortium. And in that consortium, rather than us going and building that capability ourselves, we want to partner up with people that are already doing those things very well. And we want to bring them in as our partners. We form a partnership and a consortium, and we do it together. So there's a lot of companies out there that are already doing this and are looking for a U.S. partner, and we want to be that U.S. partner.
Oh, interesting. All right, so what role would the partners take? How will you complement one another?
So so the complement is that we're the U.S. entity. We can be the U.S. face of the partner, or we can complement what we already do together very well. And they might have the assets that are necessary to do. So when I say assets, I mean like equipment, vessels, machinery, and so they may have those specific assets or purpose-built assets to do that where we wouldn't. So rather than us go out and try to build those assets, let's team up, because we know the U.S. market, we know American sailors, how that works with the Jones Act, the risks involved with everything operating in the American environment. And so there's some companies out there that they're looking for that type of partnership, where they're looking for a partner in America that knows the American way and the American system. That's us.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for sharing that information with us.
Thanks.
That's an interesting piece of the puzzle, and we're all looking forward. I think offshore wind is the most exciting development we've
Yeah,
had in this country
me too.
for decades.
I have a thought leadership paper in Breakbulk America magazine, so it's in there, and if you read that, you'll see, what my thoughts are on this whole offshore wind green thing.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for
Yep.
contributing to
Yeah,
Breakbulk.
absolutely.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you. All right.